Hello.
Hello. How do you feel?
I feel good.
You look great.
Thank you.
Are we allowed to say that anymore?
You're not supposed to care about how I look. We're above our appearances.
There was a big conversation with your husband.
Yeah.
Tell me about that moment, or the moments that hit you where it felt like something has to change.
If it takes us not being together for us to both be happy, we can be great co-parents. I can't stay in this situation that's not working for me. I don't know if you're that happy. I'm for sure not happy. At first, I had to say I was doing it for my girls so they could see a mother that was just going after what she wanted.
Yeah.
And now I'm very clear that this is something that I need. This is part of who I am.
Christine Coughlin, thank you so much for joining me on the All Figured Out podcast in real life. For those who are watching, it is so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
There's so much I want to talk to you about, and I probably say this every episode, but truly, there's so much I want to talk to you about. You are, not to be cheesy, but you are an inspiration. You are a wild inspiration in terms of those who are reckoning with meeting a point in their life where they're realizing, I don't know if this is what I want or if this is it. Yeah. And you faced that. You took the challenge head on, and you have, it sounds like, completely changed and transformed what your life looks like with 3 kids.
We have. Yeah, it's been a lot of work. A lot.
So take me back. Take me back to, I want to hear about you as a little girl, but we don't have enough time for that. So I want to hear, you were in a big corporate job, and you and your husband decided to start a family. So take me back to that period and what that transition was like for you.
Okay. So yes, I was director of operations for a retail company. Started there when I was 19 and worked my way up and loved it. It was, I got to do lots of different things, and it was like it was my identity. I'd been there forever. And then got married, had the baby, and I knew that I didn't want to do full-time because my husband traveled a lot for work. We'd both been raised by stay-at-home moms, so it kind of felt like if I could have a bit of both, that would be ideal. But the company was like, your job is just too big. We can't have you not here all the time. So it was like, okay, then I'm not going back. And honestly, I didn't really know what else I would do because I had been with that company since I was 19. So like I said, it was kind of like part of my identity. I'd grown up there and I wasn't sure where else to go. So at that point, I decided to become a stay-at-home mom. Thought that was my dream. Like the fact that my husband was like so easy to like agree to do that, I was like, great, like that's the goal. I'm going to watch Price is Right. Price is Right. I'm going to raise my babies. Yeah, that didn't go how I thought.
Wow. So at what point did you hit that moment? I'm sure lots happened in there.
Yeah, a lot happened.
And you're raising babies and it's all going, I'm sure
it happened very quick. Like I remember, this is just a natural transition when you become a mom, but I remember my first was 3 weeks old laying on the carpet. And I just remember looking at her and going like, oh my gosh, when do I get a break? Like, when do I get a day off from this? Like, just this like, we're really into this for the long haul. Yeah. So even before I was the mom that was like in the mummy groups, and like my baby was 2 months old and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. And the other lady's like, you don't need to worry about that. You have a year of maternity. And I'm like, no, I need to figure out something to do with my life. Like I need some outside stimulation.
Also because you didn't have necessarily that same timeline because it wasn't maternity leave at this point. This was going to be it.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah, because it was about 6 months at 6 months, I messaged my company and was like, okay, I'm thinking that I can't come back full time. I want to come back part time. And they were like, no. So, but even at 2 months, I was already trying to figure out my life. Yeah. 6 months, I was like, okay, I'm not going back there. Now what? So then it just started this whole journey.
Wow. And there was a baking business in here. Tell me, like, was that the solution to the initial itch of like, we need more?
Yeah. Okay. So I'd always been a baker. I'd sold cookies to my ex-boyfriend's corporate company and like all of these things at Christmas time. So I'd always been a baker. So I was like, well, I can do this. People are always asking me, what else do you want to do here with the baking? So I was like, okay, if I'm going to do anything, I want to do it well. So I went to pastry school. We had my cousin's daughter come and live with us for 3 months so I could do this like short, concise pastry program. And then I started my bakery Sweet Petite. So I did that for 2 years. And I realized really quickly turning that hobby into a business was not good for us. Not good. Yeah. So.
Tell them, okay, this is such a good one to get into, because how many people do you and I probably both know that have, this is coming from a career coach, this sounds so shitty, but like that have dreams and aspirations to turn a hobby, like a really creative hobby, into a business.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much beauty in that. And I also often will say to clients, like, what is it about that hobby that really sparks joy? And is it the hobby itself, like that particular, the pottery? Do you want to really turn that into your everyday and have your livelihood depend on that? Or is there something about the pottery? Is it like not being on a computer like that you can think about? Anyways, I could go on and on about this topic forever. I think it's fascinating. But tell me about your transition from a hobby, something that you just loved, into like, this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is a business. Like, how did that go?
It was, what I realized is I'm very good at the marketing and the social media part of it. Like I literally still get emails from people trying to book my baking services. I'm like, no, we're not doing that anymore. But yeah, what it was is that it's all on the weekends. That's when everything's due. With small kids, like to have it fresh, you need to wait till like the last minute possible, which my brain is just like, I can't do this. Like with small kids, I was like, that's tough.
With the hot oven going.
Yeah. And also we were just living on fondant. Like by the time I would always make an amazing cake, but it would sometimes take me 12 hours to make a $75 cake because I didn't know how to monetize my creativity in that way. Like I just was like, I will work until this is amazing, but I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out and I will kill myself to get it right. So that was not good for business. That's not a good business model. Yeah. And then it was, again, just eating fondant constantly. I didn't want to feed my family because I was like, I'm so sick of being in the kitchen.
Yes.
And then the weekend thing. And it was like meltdown city. Like every night I would go, I would like make the cake and I'd have these like big 3-tier cakes. And I'd be like, this is pure trash. And I would go to bed, wake up in the morning and I'd be like, oh, I guess it's not that bad. You know, like it's that creative angst of like, this is trash. This is terrible. And I was like, I don't want to live like this and be eating sugar and be, there were so many things. I was like, no, I just want to make my babies cakes. And so now I say, unless you came from my uterus, I'm not making you a cake. Like, that's not, I'm done. Like, I can't do it.
I love it. Yeah. Oh my God. That's so interesting. But then in that journey, in that exploration, it might have, not that, it's not the word failed. It's like a trial and error.
Totally.
And there was no error. There was just trial. And you were like, okay, this is what I liked about it. This is what I didn't like.
Yeah.
I always talk to people about how it's kind of like dating.
It really is.
When you do multiple, you date a few different people before you find the one and you're like, oh yeah, that was great. Oh, you left your towels on the ground. Hated that. Or like, I like this about you. You're like picking and choosing what you like. And it sounds like that's kind of what you did. You started realizing there was a real passion for the marketing side and content creation. And so, okay, so you closed the doors officially on that?
So I was on maternity leave with my second. Okay. So I closed down when I was like 8 months. And then I never went back to that.
Oh my goodness.
I was done.
Okay. And then then you went back into stay-at-home mom life. How did that look?
I did.
Yeah.
So then we had our son. And then 2-ish years later, we had our third. Okay. So, and then we moved to the suburbs. We renovated a house. And then, so I kind of stewed around there. Like I was just like so in the weeds there that I couldn't really make any big moves there. No. So.
And then the moment you have privately told me bits of this story before, but I know there was a bike ride. There was a big conversation with your husband. Yeah. Tell me about that moment, or the moments that hit you where it felt like something has to change.
Yeah, totally. There were so many moments. Some of the ones that stand out was I was like approaching my 40th birthday and I was just like, I just started writing. Like I just was hit with this need to like, I have to shift this all. I need more communication. I need more writing. And so then what the bike ride moment was, I remember saying to my husband, like, if you could do anything and you wouldn't fail, like, what would you do? And he was just like, I don't know. I just want to marry a rich woman. And I was like, well, I'm not a rich woman. Like, how are we going to, what? Like, and I really in that moment was like, if it takes us not being together for us to both be happy, we can be great co-parents. Like, I really was like, wow. I can't stay in this situation that's not working for me. I don't know if you're that happy. I'm for sure not happy. And I'm not showing up the way I want to show up for my kids. So we had a dinner date one time that we went out, and it was like, I remember saying to him, like, are you more worried that this will be successful or that it won't be successful? Because he was just like kind of resisting all the things that I was trying.
Oh, your business being successful.
Yeah. Because I'd always been a stay-at-home mom, right? So like it's just easier if I'm doing all of the things.
Yes.
So he is a very progressive husband, I would say. But it is easier if I just keep doing all the things. So we had to have those conversations, and we've done a lot of work. Yeah.
Wow. And I can't even imagine. I have a hard time even putting myself in the position to get that courage to think that and be like, I am willing and strong enough to walk away from this if the other party in this marriage is not willing to meet me where I'm at and what I need. To even like think about that there's so much strength in that. So that just goes to show like your character. And then to have that, to vocalize it. Like, how did you know you were going to vocalize that?
It was like a pure moment of frustration.
Wow.
Like, just like him kind of thinking like, what do you want to get from this? What are you like, why are you making your life harder? Like, because he has a good job. Like financially, we were fine. So that was the other piece of guilt too, right? Where it's like, you're not doing this because we need you to do it. You're doing it because you want to. Like, and that's actually a real struggle for my kids still too. That's something we navigate a lot as well, is daddy really works. Mommy works because she wants to. And I'm like, yeah. There's layers, lots of layers.
Okay. And so you had started your now business, YVR Creatives, at this point. It was just getting off the ground?
No. So this was when I had the in-between. So the in-between was my blog.
Yes.
So I started the blog, the in-between, and it was like just trying to figure out what the heck I wanted to do with my life. So I was interviewing ladies that had like gone before me and figured it out. What else was I doing? I don't know. I was trying to just exploring like mom blogging and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's where I was when I was figuring it all out. And then that led me to YVR Creatives.
And so it was pulling you, quote unquote, away from your family, your free time that you once had was no longer. And so it created this friction of like, well, you're not even making that much money or any money.
Making zero money from it. But I was like, this has to happen.
Yes, this has to happen. But why are you doing this to you? Was there ever a moment where your family kind of like, did your husband, mention, or did it feel like from your kids it was coming that was like, well, since you're not making money, you're just doing this to get away from us? I know that's a crazy question.
No, it's not a crazy question. I had so much personal work that I had to do around this. Yeah. Like I was the mom who, for whatever reason, I wanted to be there with my kids until they started kindergarten. And my youngest was 3, and I had heard that to start a blog and monetize it takes about 3 years. So I was like, okay, perfect. She'll start school she was 2. So I was like, perfect. She will start school when she is in 3 years. So if I start now, I can hide behind the stay-at-home mom title and not worry if I'm not making any money because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So it's cool. We're safe here. So I was putting all this time into it, like building my foundation. And it was hard. Like I had a lot of stuff that I had to unlearn as well. Like I was the mom that was like, my skin was crawling thinking of being a stay-at-home mom completely for the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. I would look at moms that were taking their kids to the grocery store, I would take my kids to the grocery store, and I'd see moms that were like, oh, I just dropped my kid off with my mom so I could have some time to, grocery shop. And I was like, like so spoiled, like, because I didn't have that support to do that. And I was resentful of it, but I didn't really even recognize that that's what that was. Yep. So I actually started therapy, and the therapist was like, if you put this one in even just 6 hours a day, 2 days a week, what would that do to your relationship with her? Like your skin won't be crawling when you're with her. You'll get to do your things that are even just take care of yourself, do your business, do all of this. But it was all stuff that I had to rewire for myself.
Isn't that
my husband.
Isn't that interesting that you put business in quotes?
Because at
that point, that was where your mind was. You were like, my business.
Oh, I know. It's a lot.
Like, and there's something you said about just like the hiding behind the stay-at-home mom. I think that is the truest feeling, whether it's somebody who's listening who's like hiding behind their corporate job when really they want to be leaving. And so they're starting to like okay, like I'll be corporate job, but really I just want to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I'm gonna like hide behind this corporate job until this point when I can afford blah, 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 blah. Like once like kids are in school and we're not paying for daycare, and then I can do like there's just it feels like there's so much masking that's involved in all this. And it feels like it kind of sounds like you had a moment where you were like, hey, I'm gonna do this. Like I am going to pull off the mask. Here I am, world. And your husband was like, okay, cool. Like ish, maybe.
Ish. Yeah. I mean, with lots of awkward conversations and back and forth and adjustments.
Yes.
There was no like ta-da moment.
Oh my gosh. And there's so much I want to get into about what you're doing now because I think it's so fun. But for someone who's listening, big sister advice, peer advice, mom advice, they're in a moment where they're like, this ain't it. What on earth, like what is the first step that they could take?
First step for me was getting quiet. Like COVID really was a gift for us because I was always so busy just like throwing the most amazing birthday parties and
The cakes,
like spending 25 hours on a cake. Like I'm not kidding you. I spent days on my daughter's second birthday, did a sculpted dog, like just so much time and energy into all the things, just trying to get that sense of fulfillment. So COVID just like stripped it all away. And then I was able to just be like, oh, I have these thoughts, I have these feelings, I have this, like all of this stuff. So it was just getting quiet, hearing, acknowledging, and then just following curiosity here and being like, does this feel right? Like when I first started, I was like, I want to start a blog. And I had to find a very safe friend to whisper like, I'm going to start a blog. Because I felt embarrassed by that because that's not a real job. And so that was one big step. And then I was like, but what kind of blog? Like you're supposed to niche down. So I was like, well, maybe I'm going to be a home designer blog, or maybe I'm going to be a person that renovates old furniture. And so like I was doing these things. And that's the thing I love about social media these days is that you can try these things without blowing up your life. So like I was out there like sandpapering some benches and varnishing benches. And then I was like, I hate this. Okay.
Sanding looks fun, but it takes so much time.
And then as far as like, if I'm like a home interior designer blogger, I was like, no, I'm kind of a bitch if I'm trying to like make my house perfect. And like, I like my house to be perfect, but I don't want to live like that. Like, no, okay, I'm not that. Am I a fashion blogger? I don't think so. Although maybe. I feel like I'm like, you know, I'm playing with fashion still.
I can see that. You
I
are.
fashion.
On socials, you take like your like
my little
mirror.
Of the day.
They're so cute.
So it's really just trial and error and like going where things lit me up. And if it felt good, then I kept going. And if it didn't, then I was like, nope, that's not it. And I just kept going. And that has led me to the most amazing, like it's led me here.
And would you have ever known at that moment where you took the mask off, could you have imagined that this is where you'd be doing this?
Okay. If I'm really honest, like at the very beginning, I had a coach and she was like, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to like empower women to live their best life. And I want to help them with their marketing and I want to do events. But I was like, that is all impossible. Like, that's all impossible. Like, I can't do any of that. And so like, I had this on my sticky for years. And yeah, so I've slowly gotten there, but I don't know. I've had to just prove it to myself that I can do all of these things.
That's incredible. I actually haven't heard something be put that way. Like, even though a lot of times you kind of end up going full circle, and I have so many clients that are like, whoa, how are all these things coming together? This is what I wanted to do when I was a kid, but I never thought that it could be possible for me or whatever. But I like that might have been the vision and what you said just in a word vomit probably to your coach.
Word vomit, yeah. And I was like, I don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah. But then what you didn't do is try to like boil the ocean and be like, I'm going to push so hard and like push a boulder up a hill to try to get there tomorrow. Instead, you were like, let's just continue to follow the interests and see if it does take me in that general direction. Yeah. Which is so
really cool. I'm very big on vision boarding. So I have my vision board every year. And it really, if you look back, it's like just accepting who I was and what I wanted was like the whole thing. Like just she is courageous to just live a happy, fulfilled life. Like that was the vision. Like I didn't know what it was, but I just needed to feel good within myself. And it's just like evolved slowly. Remember my first vision board had a woman with a microphone. And I was like, I am never going to speak in front of a group. Like never. And now look at me. I'm like doing it all the time.
You're on a microphone right now.
I'm on a microphone
in
right
a
now.
fancy setup.
Yeah.
Oh my! Speaking to millions of listeners. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How does your personal vision board, if you like a vision board, how does your personal vision board relate to the vision board that you have in your marriage and as a family?
I just really want us to have a sense of freedom. I want us to be connected, like deeply, and a sense of trust. I want passion in my marriage. I want, for me, it's really about not just being too stagnant and being able to like just enjoy each other and have fun and spend time in nature. And so I feel like my personal business vision board is all about creating this life that has spaciousness and has flexibility. I don't want to be somebody's office from 9 to 5 and get 3 weeks of holidays a year. Like that makes me feel like I'm choking. So it's really about creating that spaciousness.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
So spaciousness in all areas.
Yeah.
And does your husband, do your children feel this as well?
Okay, this is a work in progress.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like I'm at the point right now where, so YVR Creatives we're coming up on a year and a half. It's very new. So I have very much been 100% about the business. Okay, so this is where I am now working to try and like pull it back and find more balance. So I think it's always a work in progress. I have ADHD, so I am hyper focused on this business right now. I've just finished the Motherhood Summit and I packed May with all these different events. And I'm like, okay, I've committed to all this now. I see how this feels in my body. I will not do this again. So it's just constantly feeling it out and just knowing how you want it to be in the long run. This doesn't quite feel right, so I will adjust next year.
Yeah. What does the next chapter look like for you? Are you somebody that feels like there's going to have to be a new reiteration of the job of the business like frequently, or how do you feel?
Yeah. So I'm laughing because I do a monthly mastermind with my community, and when was it? I think it was last June. We did mind maps. So I put Christine's goals, and it just had like all these things off of it, and I have done like 85% of it since June of last year. I think it was June we did them. And I don't remember when I wrote it, but I looked at it the other day and then in the middle it says, now what? I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm really trying to work on like,
yes.
You can just be.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for my family so I can show up the best I can. And there has to be like some balance. And I'm really just sorting it out.
I'm going to ask, okay, we were joking. You were like, are you going to be hard-hitting questions trying to catch me out? And I was like, are you going to be sweet, Andrea? Okay, I'm going to ask you a tough one.
Yeah.
Have you reconciled, or are you ever grappling with I'm doing this business for my family, or are you okay with saying this business is also for me?
Yeah. At first, I had to say I was doing it for my girl so they could see a mother that was just going after what she wanted.
Yeah.
And now I'm very clear that this is something that I need. This is part of who I am, and I have buried it away for so long, and I'm good at this. Why shouldn't I do this? Like, I want to do this. It lights me up. So, yeah, I think I've come to terms with the fact that it can be good for me and good for them. And it's okay if it's just good for me in certain pockets.
Because if it's good, it's so cliche. But if it is good for you, it's good for them.
Yes, exactly.
If they see you having fun and getting dressed up and they get to, troll you for that or whatever. It's like still like, even though they're like,
yeah.
I know on social media you post like your kids being like, ugh, mom. But like they probably secretly love it. You're lit up by your work.
I did a live last week with somebody and my daughter came home. She's like, Mom, were you on a live today on Instagram? I'm like, yeah. She's like, somebody in my class was watching your live. I'm like, why is a 13-year-old boy watching my live? Like,
13-year-old boy?
What? Weird. So she kind of thinks I'm cool, I think, and also so cringy.
Yes, but maybe that's a good thing. Tell me more about YVR Creatives. If you were to do it, I hate when people say that elevator pitch. No, tell me about it. Tell me about the business. Who is it for? What is it? What are you?
So I'll tell you,
doing?
What I am doing is I started doing my in between, and I was showing up on Instagram all the time. I was telling my story, and everybody was like, in my normal circle was like, why are you doing this? Like, you have friends. Like, what is up with that? And I was just something that I do. When I'm happy, I share. I like to share. I like to share information and just what I do. So I started to meet other ladies that were doing the same thing. And I felt so seen. And I was like, this is amazing. And over COVID, we were the ones that were like commenting on each other's posts. And like, these ladies you don't even really know are supporting you and like just going with you in your dreams. I'm like, we need to meet. We need to do this in real life. And it was just like instantly like, yes, this is a community that needs to be together. And it's just blossomed from there. So what we do is monthly masterminds. I bring in special guests. I really love just helping women get their messages into the world. And I do that through my Creator Society, which is the private membership. I do in-person events where I have guest speakers coming in and we're all getting content and we're all holding the microphones and being, amazing. And I do it through personal content days. So,
which I had the privilege of doing one.
Yes.
And it was so fun.
It's so fun.
You're so good at it. And it's so interesting to see you're definitely, I would be so curious to know what your personality assessment type is. Someone who's certified in those like Myers-Briggs style assessments. You're definitely one of those people that has like this blend of left and right brain for sure. Because in that day, you were so organized. You had a shot list. You were like, let's do this. Yeah. How could you say that more succinctly? But then you've got this real creative side to your brain, which is really cool to see you get to go on both. And event planning. Oh my God. I can't think of, I do small scale, very low lift events and I have fun with them, but my God, I hate event planning.
Do you?
Hate it.
I love it.
I like the details stress me out.
I
I'm
love
big
it.
visionary.
I love the details.
Which is so, and you're also creative. Now on the word creative, what does that mean to you? So would you consider me, like what is a creative? YVR creatives?
Yes. So to me, I always was like, I'm not creative because I can't draw. I made these like amazing cakes, like all these fondant things where I was like, I am not an artist. Like I don't draw pictures. And then I started realizing like, oh, I think I might be creative. I started like doing reels and like I have these little ideas pinging in all the time. So it was just like, just letting it be whatever it is. Like we all express our creativity in our own ways. So whether that's content or podcasting or whatever it is, like for me, it's just a way of being. So it's a woman who's willing to like just be resourceful to get what she wants. Like, we are all creative in our own way.
Totally. Do you have anybody who has full-time jobs that's in your orbit? Like are there people who are kind of making that transition in your world?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We have a web designer who has a full corporate job and she's part of the community. And she's wanting to work, she's doing both. We definitely have ladies that are doing both.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And for those who are in the in-between and they're just contemplating like, how do I move in? They're probably resonating with I feel like I'm a creative and in my day-to-day, I am absolutely not that. I actually just recorded a solo episode about how do you look at your day and like, is it really expressing your values? And I feel like there's a lot of people out there who their calendar, their day-to-day, their work, their home life just isn't expressing their values. And it sounds like that's a bit of a friction point that you had where you were like, whoa, my values are not like of, fulfillment and flexibility and creativity, like weren't being expressed as a stay-at-home mom. So for those who are listening and they're like, I want to do this. But it feels oversaturated. It feels like I know.
Okay.
If everyone has a podcast, I was told that. Everybody thinks that they can be a TikTok momfluencer, whatever Utah. I don't know. It's so disheartening when you feel so passionate about something and you're excited, and then you just hear or see that one thing that's like making fun of those who are going for it. What do you say to that person?
I've let that stop me before. Nobody is you. Like there's only one you. So the way that you say things is going to resonate with a specific person. And I think it's your measure of success too. Like, do you need to be a 100,000 follower kind of person, or can you make an impact in your local community? What do you really want to do? Like if you are passionate about something, it's in you for a reason and you owe it to the world to put it out there.
I like that. It's such a good, that's a really good point about what's the goal? Like, what do you really want out of this? Is it, I want to be a creator? Okay, why? You have to ask that why. Is it because like you want fame? You want to have a really big impact? That's amazing. You're allowed to want that. Or is it because you really enjoy just connecting and meeting with new people and forging more deep connections in which maybe like a 5,000 person community would be perfect for you.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can go really deep with those people,
Yeah.
So it's like, what is it that you want out of it? I think that's such a good question to ask. Do you know what that is for you? I'm curious.
I've been doing this for a while now, and I definitely got stuck in the I have to have good engagement because I was doing the content creator thing. So it was all about engagement and all of that. And then when I really started taking off is when I was like, actually, I don't give a shit about engagement. I just have this thing in me that needs to be out. So once I just started just expressing myself for the pure need to express myself, I feel like it was a game changer.
Tell me about the viral moment. I feel like I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this. So you've been posting a lot. Like you said, you're just expressing yourself. You're following your intuition, what feels right. And you went viral.
Yeah, it was shocking.
And what are we talking viral here? How viral?
10.8 million.
It's like a quarter of Canada.
Right? I asked my husband, how many people are in Canada?
40 million.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was, and it's so funny because I have put production value into my things. And this one, of course.
Here we are.
I have tried. Not really with the goal of going viral, but just I've put effort into these things. And it's casual, whatever, 5,000, whatever. And this one, it was Christmas time, I think. It was over the holidays. And I came downstairs. I had tried on this outfit that I was like, ooh, don't know if this is a good outfit. But I'm I'm trying something new. I was going on a date night with my husband. I have hair all cute. And I came down and my teenager was in the kitchen. And she was just like, ugh, what are you wearing? You look like a train conductor. And I was like, that's hilarious. Do that again. So I literally just handed my phone to my husband. It was just get me coming down the stairs. And then I just shot her. So she's 10 out of 10 actress, all right? Because that was not her first take. But that's exactly what
I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
I was like, how did you get this?
It was a redo because I was like, this is funny and relatable. I have been sharing my fashion and I love fashion. So I also know that there's a lot of women that are like, this is hard when you have kids and you have a body that's not the same as it used to be. So I knew it was relatable. I know that teenagers are mean as fuck. I'm just going to post this. And it was not well lit, all of that. And it just went immediately. And I got to 500 and I said, I think it's going to get to 1 million. That was so no concept that could happen. And it got to 10.8. And then I shut off the comments because people are terrible.
Yes, I remember talking to you. I was like, how are you doing over there? Because you were also posting stories being like, well, this is a trip. Ask and you shall receive. But then you're receiving some.
Yeah, we went to the dark corners of the internet. My community is very much about female empowerment and express yourself and do your thing and march to the beat of your own drum. And then I was like, well, these people are terrible. They need more hugs. So, yeah.
So turned off the comments.
Turned off comments.
I know you blocked a lot of people.
I blocked hundreds of people.
You were reporting them.
Yeah, it was hundreds of people I blocked.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That was fun.
Okay, Christine.
Yeah.
Why do you think that so many moms and women in general are attracted to building and creating personal brands right now? What is it about the timing? What is it?
It's accessible. You can do it anytime. You can pick up your kids from school. You can take them to the gymnastics. And it's just, everything is about the personal brand right now. If AI is taking over the world, people need to know who you are, what you stand for, what your values are, and they want to connect with real people. And we're just also nosy. We just want to know, what's Andrea up to on the weekend? What does she drink in her coffee? What nail polish does she like? We're so nosy.
We're so nosy.
Yeah.
That's a great point. What do you think personal brand, what role does personal brand, given, I would say you're a personal brand expert. And what would you say the role of a personal brand is for someone who is not an entrepreneur, not a creator, but is, wants to think about who they are, how they show up. But what is that
look like? I started my personal brand before I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that if I had a community that knew me, liked me, and trusted me, that when I figured it out, I would be able to present them because they would be like, oh, of course we want to support you. We know your journey. So you can start long before you have a product, which is what I did. And it's been helpful.
Okay. And how much do you think is important to share? Do you share? I heard something once. I always do this. I'm I heard something on a podcast once, but I couldn't tell you what the podcast was or when it was. But it was something around the not sharing the open wound, but maybe sharing the scar. And I don't know, I struggle with that sometimes. Sometimes I think it's true because I think sometimes there's people who react too quickly in the moment and really could have taken a beat before reacting or sharing the thing. Like they should have maybe just let themselves have that for a second.
Yeah.
I even think about, you get engaged, you have a baby. I had 2 planned C-sections. I kind of wish people didn't know what the dates were because I kind of wanted that moment for myself to just sink in, enjoy it, think about the thing. Anyway, so that's like the wound, literal wound.
Yeah.
And then there's the scar. So what is your philosophy on that and what you share and
I think
how?
I, in the past, have done from the scar. Like I'm definitely looking back and being like, this is what I took from this moment that was tough for me. I think it's really about your own personal boundaries. Like I definitely have boundaries where I am telling my story. I'm not telling my children's story. So they have their own lives and I'm kind of talking about my experience of motherhood, but I'm not there's a line that I'm not crossing with sharing about them. It's really what you're comfortable with. I do think there's a place sometimes for things that are really raw and emotional, but I kind of feel the same about you as like maybe process that a little bit and like have a moment. And like the world now is just so immediate. So the power comes from like going inwards and being like, what do I want to take from this? What do I want to share from this? What is my lesson? And I think that's personally where it's more impactful.
I like that. I think there's something to be said about what's the weight of the situation. If it's man, I'm having a hard day. This thing happened. Like I'm so clumsy. Those things happen to me all the time. That's relatable, and that doesn't have a huge impact on me, on the people around me. I can share that, and I think it turns into a scar pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. There's something to be said about waiting for the bigger things. And I really like what you said about the boundaries around your kids and just not sharing. I think that's an AA ism as well, where like, or Al-Anon, which is like for those who are support caregivers for those who have addiction issues. I remember hearing that, for that, you don't ask somebody how their person in their life who's an addict is doing because it's their story to tell. And yeah, I think that's a really good one for kids as well.
I think at the end of the day, I want to make sure that when my kids actually, like their friends are now on the internet. Like I said, like the kid was watching me on a live, right? Like, so I need to now be very mindful of what I am sharing.
Yes.
And yeah, and I've always thought that from the beginning. Like I want my kids to be able to watch my content as like a journal of me, that they would maybe understand their mother more, but not like that I shared all of their, like, I don't like it when like kids are crying and parents are like recording them to get the shits and giggles. Like that's just gross. I don't.
There's a line.
Yeah, there's a line.
There's a line.
Yeah.
Christine, you've been through a lot of figuring things out. What would you say right now in this season? What are you trying to still figure out?
The balance. For sure, the balance.
You answered that quick.
Yeah, because I'm in it. The balance. Like I said, I could work on this business 24/7. Like I love what I'm doing. I'm so grateful that I get to do this and connect with these amazing ladies. So it's the balance for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I figured out like in my week, like if I have like these specific times that are kind of sacred and like how many times I can kind of go out a week and like, I'm just figuring it all out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And like I like what you said earlier about recalibrating, realizing that this particular season, a few too many things. There was a few too many things. And you're like, okay, next time I'm going to tweak that.
Totally.
Little recalibration, if you will.
Yeah.
For those who want to learn more about you, sleuth you, find out about this
light stalking,
the heart stalking, see your viral video, all the things. Where can they connect with you? How can they find you, learn more?
Yeah, so I am on YVR Creatives. So it's yvr.creatives on Instagram. I am Christine Coughlin, and then the website is yvrcreatives.ca.
Beautiful, and they can learn more about what you're doing in person. Do you do virtual stuff sometimes?
No, I love in person.
Okay.
I don't want to be on the internet.
Okay, hyper niche. If you are in the greater Vancouver area, you may hang out with Christine, but you can also follow her. And she is an inspiration to light. Thank you for sharing your story. I think it's such an important one to talk about. And I think you're so inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for joining me.
I love what you're doing.
I appreciate you.